Yeah, so this is Footwork, man. We back. So, Savannah Marshall and Carissa Shields just fought for the undisputed middleweight championship of the world. This is the first time that Shields had the opportunity to be undisputed in two weight classes. And she's also undefeated, so she's now the undisputed middleweight champion of the world. She just got announced a few moments ago. So I just want to talk about this fight between her and Savannah Marshall. Going in, Marshall was the only one to beat Carissa Shields in the amateurs. And if you go back and listen to some tape about Shields, kind of talk about her experience to go from the street to the amateurs and then into the Olympics. She talked about the little bump in the road that she had in losing, training hard, and then coming back and getting the dub. So with this particular fight, that was kind of the promotion and that was the hype behind it. The fact that, Savannah Marshall was the only one to beat Carissa Shields. And to be fair, I haven't watched any of Marshall's fights, but the way she showed up in this one, I can see why she gave Carissa Shields some trouble in the amateurs, and because she gave her some trouble tonight. The way they match up, they're both, big women, being 160 pounds, athletes, and both of them are relatively strong. But coming into this fight, I was looking for Shields to dominate because really nobody else can really match her skill set when she's on her game. And the way she looked in this fight, she looked good, especially early. But I really would like to see her be a bit more calm and relaxed, seeing that she has so much experience now, and she's levels above, where she was in the amateurs and in the Olympics. As far as placing her shots and turning her shots over, and just not trying to rush anything. I think she could have paced herself a little bit better. But going in early, she was totally dominating the first, 4 or 5 rounds. She was backing up to the ropes a little bit, but she was seeing everything that was coming her way. And her opponent, Marshall, is just a big, tall, goofy, lanky, light pole, Nordic type chick that just, is just real awkward and just weird. She got long arms, but she bobs and weaves and she gets down low, and she's probably 6'1", and she's ducking down, she's bobbing and weaving, she's trying to get on the inside, and so it made for an interesting fight. So pretty much, Carissa Shields was looking to play the matador to the bull, and what she did right was she was really just catching her opponent coming inside. She was punching with her opponent, catching her clean. And she was really just throwing hard shots. I mean, almost everything Shields was throwing was with everything she had. And, she was catching her clean. She was turning over her shots. I'm assuming she was making a tight fist with the right hand, and she was following it through. And I think they kind of took something out of her later in the fight, because she did gas out a little bit going down the stretch, because she was just throwing so extremely hard. I think she was trying to get her out of there, which for Shields, she doesn't really have that many knockouts. I don't even think she has a 50% knockout ratio. Out of all her fights, she's only got like 2 KOs. And so going up against her opponent here, who has quite a few knockouts, I think just about half of her fights ended in knockouts. And you can tell, because this showed up in the fight. About midway through the fight, Marshall started to come on. She just, soaked up all those shots early to the body, to the head, which was good work by Shields. But Marshall just kept coming, and she was throwing some hard right hands, and some of them got through. And if you ask me, the punches that she threw, they were just as effective as what Carissa Shields was throwing and landing with. Now, Shields was throwing the harder shots, and she was, getting some reaction. But the way that Marshall was kind of, the way she was throwing her shots, it was snapping Shields' jaw all over the place. It was snapping her head back. and good for her that she just didn't try to stay there and just lay in there and take those shots to prove a point. She was smart enough to, bob, weave, to keep the upper body movement going and move just enough to take something off those shots as they were coming in. But she backed up to the ropes a lot, and I probably would have liked to have seen her spin out. Tim Bradley commented that he wanted to see her walk Savannah Marshall down. And, I thought that would have been a good idea, but she did fight a smart fight. She clearly jumped out to an early lead. And I really thought that this fight was hers to lose from the beginning. She's just levels above pretty much anybody else out there. But she kind of dogged it out a little bit towards the end. She put in some good work to the body early, and I think that helped her down late. But Marshall just wouldn't stop coming. And she just kept coming and kept coming. And she's game. I give that to her. She came to win. She wanted those titles. She wanted to get this win. And she wanted to prove that that win in the amateurs was no fluke. And so I think she had Claressa Shields to kind of go to a place that she doesn't have to very often, which was just kind of just dig deep and just really fight off instinct towards the end. I thought that Shields had a chance of getting her out of there early. Towards the end, it looked like she could have got clipped a couple times. She looked a little vulnerable towards the end. But, any great fighter is going to have moments like this. And how you finish and how you face that type of adversity says a lot about you. And so I take my hat off to Claressa Shields in this fight. She dogged it out down the stretch. She had an opponent that was game, that wasn't severely outmatched, especially in the will department. And she just had to go down the stretch. Now, she did start throwing some arm punches. I'm talking about Shields now. She did throw some arm punches at the end, towards the end of the fight. But in that last round, she showed why she should be the one to walk away with that title. And that's what she did. She proved herself tonight. And so, again, salute to Claressa Shields. Good win. And I wouldn't be surprised if they run it back. I wouldn't be mad if they ran this fight back. I think this would be a good fight, a good candidate for a rematch. And, I'd like to see them in there again. I think these styles kind of match up well. And I'd like to see Claressa Shields really get a chance to have a more emphatic win by relaxing and fighting the fight, kind of like what she did in her last fight coming into this one. She was very calm, very relaxed, in control the whole time, and had a more like business-like approach, rather than coming in here looking to try to take her opponent's head off, kind of being amped up and ferocious. That works. Use it in spots. Be smart about it. And then you have a chance to maybe get your guy or get your girl out of there. But then again, when all is said and done with this fight, she did a good job. She did a good job. She went in, she got the W, and hopefully she can continue to move on to bigger and better things. So once again, salute, champ. This is Footwork Fight Talk. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and we out.